Hello, everybody. Good evening. It is July 22nd. It is the fourth Tuesday of the month. So we are here going to continue Christmas in July. I want to give a big thank you to everyone for being understanding of taking the last Tuesday off. It was just kind of chaos, and I needed to just have a break. Hey, Melinda. So if you're watching this right now, or if you're watching this on the replay, please make sure to like the video. Make sure that you are subscribed. If you make sure you hit notifications, your device will notify you. Mine tells me 30 minutes before I'm set to go live, since I figured out how to schedule a live. As well as I think you get a notification when I actually go live. And of course, if you're watching live, you can chat here live. And if you are not watching live, please leave comments down below. And if you do have questions while you're watching, please be specific about your questions so I know what you're talking about. Because if this is not your first time here, welcome. But I will really get into my work. I forget sometimes that there's people sometimes watching and are asking questions, and then I have no idea what people are talking about or asking about. So tonight, as we continue the Christmas in July, which has for me been a little fun, we are going to focus in really on a particular bundle, and it is the Tractor & Co. bundle, which I understand isn't necessarily everybody's cup of tea, but I do think it's so adorable. So I'm always kind of attracted to farm stuff because my dad lives on a farm. I mean, it's technically a farm. And he has a tractor and does farm tractor things. And my husband and I like to go up and visit him. And so we'll talk about this and the dies. But what I'm going to be doing tonight is giving you some helpful maybe tips, things that I try to pay attention to when I'm working with a builder set. This is what I'm calling as a die builder set. I didn't know what else to call it, but we'll kind of go through all of these pieces as well. So if you received the newsletter today, or if you've been on Facebook, you know that free shipping is coming up starting tomorrow. So the 22nd, or wait, the 23rd, 24th, and 25th will be free shipping for orders $75 or more. Keep in mind, if you redeem any of your Stampin' rewards, those things, you know, that 10% we earn on all of our purchases over $25, you just have to make sure that your amount after any coupons or rewards is that 75 or over. So it really is a good time to start picking up some things, and maybe you're going to pick up this bundle here in part of your order. So do take advantage of the free shipping. Also, I wanted to give a shout out that this last week was the virtual scrapbooking retreat. I did exactly none of it. Again, just it was kind of been crazy. However, there's some updates I want to provide to you if you're still on the fence about the scrapbook retreat. It is a $250 kit. You make 12 layouts for each month. So it's January through December. And when you purchase it for the $250, you are going to earn $25 in Stampin' rewards. And also, you're going to receive a $15 coupon that is good for 30 days from Stampinup. And that is because they realized when they designed the kits, they gave us 12 sleeves, but they should have given us 13 because the layouts need to be next to each other. So you're getting 25 in rewards, and then you're getting a $15 rebate, 30-day rebate when you purchase. There are still kits available. I'm not exactly sure how many. You will gain access to the private Facebook group where the videos are, and they are good videos. I've watched bits and pieces of them. And then in 30 days, they will be uploaded onto YouTube. So if you've still been on the fence on the kit, maybe this free shipping day is going to be the day to purchase it. So you would get $250. You're going to save all of that shipping, which actually is amazing. You'll get 25 in rewards, and then you'll get an email with a coupon code to use in the next 30 days for $15. So it would be a really good time to take advantage if you were on the fence about that retreat. And then I have finalized all of the details for my September crop here locally at my church, September 13th, with the funds going to the Orphan Grain Train, which is a group that my church has supported now for a couple of years. Might be more than a couple. And they do have a Wichita location. And around September is actually mission month at our congregation, and that is one of the missions we support. They have a branch in Wichita. And come like October is when our Lutheran ladies have all their quilts and everything made, and so all of these funds will help. When I was talking to them, probably would go towards helping with shipping costs when they need to ship things like overseas, or they also ship things for domestic disasters as well. And so if you are not in the event, I do have that pinned at the top of my Facebook page, so head over there because I'll probably share some information about them as we go on. So let's get started. Let's see. Some people have come on. Nikki, hello Nikki, and Mom is on. Hello Mom. Glad that you are here. We're going to switch the camera and we're going to talk about our little Tractor and Co. Now this is a photopolymer stamp set, and it does kind of cover, we have the Christmas, which the cards that I have to share today are Christmas cards to go with the Christmas in July. But this set also has pumpkins and like corn. So we could do a Halloween, we could do a fall theme, maybe even a summer, because right now they always say thigh high by 4th of July, but let me tell you, when I was at the farm, my dad's farm, this July, it was much higher than thigh high. So very summery, and I didn't stamp that stamp. I was trying to stamp the ones that I hadn't used. But it is photopolymer. And then we have a whole bunch of dies, and we'll kind of go through these dies as well, so you can kind of see how things are assembled. I want to show you some of the stamps that I'm not using today, minus the hay bale, because even though it's gigantic, I apparently spaced out on it. So we can see the little chicken here, the little flag, and there are dies. That's going to get the chicken and the little flag. There's the die. Where's the pumpkins here? There's a die for the pumpkins. Now let's talk about these pumpkins real quick. This is pumpkin pie. This is timid tiger. And when I first stamped this tonight, see how it really bled? This is the same color. I would say timid tiger is a couple shades lighter than pumpkin pie when I see it here on the white cardstock. My timid tiger, I really haven't used it a lot, so it was very squishy, very inked. So if you stamp and you notice this, because they're supposed to have lines, what I want you to do is I want you to pull out your ink pad, and maybe let me just pull that. And I want you to come with your plastic spoon, because hopefully you want a plastic spoon in your craft room to help re-ink your pads, but it's also good if you do some firm pressure. You might even be able to see on the camera visually, like in person I can tell, that helps press the ink down. And then when you stamp, especially with photopolymer, you get a cleaner image. So there's like your first tip, just an overall stamp tip. So if you stamp something and it's like, ooh, that looks not blotchy, but runny, press that ink down into your pad and try again, and you're going to get a much better look. So we have dies that will cut these pieces out. And then for the wheat, I showed it, or the corn, I showed it if we were just going to stamp it flat. But if you wanted to do some die cut, you would stamp them like this, so then you could die cut the pieces separate, which is great. And the hay bale that these are shrunk a little bit, the hay bale that I forgot to stamp has a die as well. Now for the rest of these dies, so that's just to show you what I'm not using. The rest of these dies I have used, and so I'm going to give some overall tips. So the first, and I already have these die cut, so let's pull this over. So you can see my little tractor. There should be lines here, but I think it kind of, for this tractor, kind of makes them look antique-y. But I should have pressed my ink down. But I kind of, again, gives them a little bit more rustic look. So I stamped these on white cardstock. This is garden green because I needed to do a John Deere-esque tractor because that is what my dad has. And so I stamped those and die cut them, and then I have the wheels, and we're going to talk about these wheels. I have the little seat, and then I have the trees. Okay, because there's that, the 3 trees. So let's talk about these wheels. I just have this large one here because I'm going to show you how I did this. Now, I did look on the samples online, because this is an online exclusive set, so you're going to find it online, and it is while supplies last most of the time. I'm going to show you how I did this. The sample online is going to have these tires just fully stamped. So I just have the large one because I thought it would be easier to see. And so this is, what is this? This is Daffodil Delight for my yellow. And that's what it stamps as. But when I think about a John Deere tractor, and of course I will go to Google and Google things so I can get colors correct, it's the black tire with the yellow center. It's not just a full black wheel. Now there are some tractors where it would be like a full black wheel, or you could use gray, but John Deere most of the time has that distinctive, the whole hub, the wheel is yellow and then the tire is black. So this is what I did. I inked my tire in the yellow, and then I got my Stampin' Write marker, not my blend, my Stampin' Write marker, the skinny one, and this is the black marker, and you can actually order the black on its own, I do believe. And with my block, I came through with my brush tip and colored the black right over the yellow. And if you wanted to use gray, you could use gray as well. And if it starts to feel weird, you just clean it off on your grid sheet or your scrap paper, because it will pick up a little bit of the yellow, but it is not a big deal. And I'm going to huff on it. And that is how I got my John Deere wheel, and then I die cut them out. So a little bit of work, but is that not worth the effort? And it really wasn't that much effort. You can do this now. Normally, let's back up. Sometimes I have found that coloring on photopolymer is not always the best. Usually our red rubber stamps, the cling, do a lot better with coloring on them with our blends. However, because this was like a smooth line, it worked out really well. And I think that's much easier than trying to go back and like doing this, like trying to, like that just stresses me out just thinking about it actually. So there's a tip for you. No matter what stamp you're using, if you need 2 colors, do the full ink with the lightest color and then put the darker on top of it, and you will be just fine. So to put this tractor together, I need to get another, I'm going to get my little, this one's kind of dirty. I have my other pieces sitting on another one. I didn't want to move it. So I'm going to use Tombow for this tractor, and a little goes a long way. So I'm just carefully just putting a little bit. Here we can go. Let's come down a little bit. There we go. It's got my name on there. Oh, I need a small tire. And I'm using my silicone sheet, or if you have a glass mat, I'm using that because if something oozes out, it's gonna come right off. I like to take my pick tool because I don't have to try to use my fingers. Now this is the seat and he's going to go here. Now I could put glue right there, or since I have it on the putty tip, I should have probably done the seat first, but oops. Okay, so this is pretty cute just on its own. Let's do a little focus here. So he does look pretty antique-y. It would be fun if I had a, I'm thinking, let's see, my mom will probably correct me. I'm thinking the numbers of the tractor are black stickers. So I could come and put like the tractor numbers. Of course, the tractor people would know specifically what type of tractor this is. Like, I wouldn't want to put, so my dad's tractor's a 4110. I wouldn't want to write that on this tractor because it doesn't look anything like this one. And that would be the equivalent of saying like a Camaro is a Mustang. Bad. Much better than coloring the black. Yes. Okay. Yes, I agree. So there's that little guy. And then this is the little cart, which you can use or not use. And we're going to do the same thing. Now this is, when I was first working on this, I was so proud of myself. I was like die cutting everything. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And I'm like, wait a minute, I need more little tires for the trailer. And then we have these cute little trees. So, oop, I love that. Take your pick tool, even though it's just, yeah, my little tire's not. There is one version of the tractor. And what we might do with this, well, we're going to come up a little bit. Up we come. Is we might make a card like this. Now this is the season greetings, which is in the stamp set. My nails look orange. It's color 92 and it is actually a watermelon pink. It's 92. I know it does look orange on the screen, but it is more pink. Let's see. Flirty Flamingo. A little brighter than Flirty Flamingo, so it does maybe lean orange. I would call it in the Flirty Flamingo realm, or maybe it's Strawberry Slush. Ooh, it might be more Strawberry Slush. Somewhere in there. I call it watermelon-y. So let's talk about some of the little techniques I did on the tractor. I like this because it's like not even, like he's going over this rocky road. And so if you took advantage of the two-tone cardstock sale, then that's what we're using here. But pick some up if you're doing some free shipping, if you didn't get any. And so what I did is this DSP is from our lovely Nests of Winter, which came out like last fall and is still available. Look for it online. And I have that piece cut, and it looks like little falling snow. And I have this piece of Garden Green two-tone, which is probably a little too wide. So let me just trim it down a second. Let's see, this is too, let's do this like, there we go. My proportion looks off on this DSP, doesn't it? Yep. So is this correct? That looks right. So what I did for this here is I did the crumple technique. So this little tractor it's just starting to snow. Now you could come through it, and maybe if you had a snow embossing folder, pull out the Pool Party or whatever blue two-tone cardstock and run like your little snow embossing folder through there, and then use the sandpaper to get that white core up. And I think that would be really cute. I don't have a snow embossing folder right now. So I'm just crumpling this up, and the more you crumple it, the smoother it's going to get. Not smoother, I'm sorry, the more wrinkly, and it's gonna maybe show some of the white and whatnot. So I do have my DSP piece as the size that I want. So this is gonna lay right over the top here, and I'm gonna use the dark side. Remember, our two-tone has this lighter side, and then you can see that that's a little darker. You could use Tombow to put this down as well. Let's see, am I going to run out of adhesive? And then I'm going to just do my best to lay this right over the top. If there's anything like a little trimming, I can manage that. And then this is, I believe, pecan pie. And so I'm going to tear a path. Now I want it to be the dark forward. So if I peel down, then I'll get the edge to me. But I want it to be the edge on both sides. So then I'm going to do this way. So I get this. Okay. And this is going to be my path. My green was a little, it's fine. It's a little wide here. There we go. I feel like that's going to be a pretty good path. But I don't like the white. I want to have some of the texture. I could, now this one I didn't crumple it, but I could. But I'm just going to come through with the pecan pie ink and do a little blend. You know, if I want it darker, lighter, whatnot. Again, it's like the farmer is just coming in from the field with those trees just as it's starting to snow. And I just inked all of my fingers, so let's take care of that. And then this would glue right on down. And then I'm going to have to trim this up and make the dimensions work. And you can just cut that off, and then I would mount it on a piece of the blue here, the Pool Party. which is what this is, and then I would get my little, where'd my tractor go? And then it'll end up looking like this. Ta-da! And I think we'd be okay to trim that little bit. I'll fix the proportions. And there's a little season greetings. And I put a little, what is this, the linen thread. I haven't done anything inside, so let me know your ideas there. So we'll get that one finished later. All right, let's talk about the next tractor. So this tractor is the non-stamping tractor. So if you're not wanting to stamp. So for this tractor, are all my pieces still here? Yes, okay. I am missing the hub here. We could probably cut one. Goodness gracious. Did it get stuck? Aha! I had this on top of it. Okay, so we have the tractor body unstamped. So this is the same as the one that was stamped and the little cart. We have the little individual tree, which is this guy. And see the cute little, it gives this little texture there. We have the seat again. We have this little piece here. This is the roll cage. Could have used it on the last one, I think, too. And then we have our tires and we have our little wheels. So what is cool is the hubs here is a 3-in-1, because if you're doing the tractor and the trailer, you need 3 small wheels. So you get that in one. And here's the small wheel and the large wheel. And then there's the large wheel die. And then we have this little piece here, which is like a little steering wheel accent. So that one I did learn that I needed to do the adhesive sheet on the back of it. And I probably, when I do more of these, because I'm going to, I would do adhesive sheet on the back of these little hubs too. But they're not too bad to glue on. So what I've done is I'm going to pick this up with my Take Your Pick putty. You could use tweezers probably as well. And we'll just do a little tiny dots of glue. And we can get that centered right into there. So I did mimic this tractor off of the one that they show as a sample online. So I am using Real Red. My camera doesn't want to focus. There we go. So my tractor is Real Red. I think we have basic black, and then I think smoky slate I did for the hubs. So, oops, my wheel. Wow, that's not a good place. We're gonna set these over here for now. We don't need our trees quite red. The trees I did in shaded spruce. So this little piece goes on here. Could have maybe been silver, but the sample was black, so I just went with black, and it was a little easier to help with the die cutting as well. And we're going to talk about that. So this is now a sticker because I used the adhesive sheet with all of those details. We don't want to be messing with that. Another great reason to have this on my silicone mat, because if this was on the grid sheet, that probably would have stuck down. So that gives us that cool little hood accent. Nancy from the Ozarks! Woo! Ah, is it just... I hope you're having a good time and it's not too miserable out. I'm sorry, that was a lot. I don't have as much water in here as I thought. So then I have my little seat, and we're going to glue that down as well. So I'm going to put up a little poll question. There's a few of you on, and I've never done that before, so here we go. How do you feel about die builder sets? You know, are you, do you love them as in, oh my gosh, I just love to put together all these little bitty pieces? Maybe they're okay. Yeah, that's maybe normally where I lie, because it's like, well, there's coordinates with the stamp sets, so I just go ahead and pick them up. Or you're like, I don't always know what to do with them, or I hate them, get away from me. Oh, good. I'm glad you're having a good time, Nancy. Yes, the weather is very special this week. I mean, very special. So, and then we're going to glue this on too. So I would like to know your feelings, and then add any other comments about how you feel about builder sets. So this is going to go like this. Let's see, can we see? Let's bring it down a little bit. I'm going to just continue to leave that pull up. And so what I found the easiest to do is I'm going to put the, again, that's why the silicone sheet is so great, is we're just going to take the tractor. I'll use my finger to get the excess glue up. And we're going to let that hang out there for a second, because we're going to do some shading on our little wheel wells. If I can get them off. So a couple other tips that I suggest with builder sets, and I'm sometimes guilty of it as well, that I get them and then I don't do anything with it. I'm real red, gonna use with the blender brush inside the wheel like that. So you can kind of get a focus here. So you can kind of see it gives a little something there. I have found, and I can say that especially with this one, with the summer and the garden and just everything else, this is like my lowest motivated time of year to do anything, if you haven't noticed. But I can tell you, die cutting all of these pieces actually I feel like it helped me get out of a funk a little bit. So for me, I think a die builder set is great for when you want to do something but you don't know what to do. Just maybe it's a flower builder, maybe it's like this, a tractor, or you know, something, maybe it's whatever else kind of I keep thinking just farm because that's what we're doing, but florals, maybe ocean, trees. There's been different tree builders. I just suggest pull it out and start doing the dies, especially if you're not exactly sure what they are. Just put them on some scrap pieces, doesn't matter what color, and die cut them. See what they look like, see what it's like to put it together, and then once you have it figured out, just make a bunch of them. Because you know what? Oh, this little tractor here, I could have this assembled and I could just put it in the stamp case. And when I'm like, oh, I need a card for so-and-so, this is already assembled and put together on that weekend that I didn't know what to do with myself, and all I did was make little tractors. And then they're in there, ready to go for my scrapbook page or for a card. So and it turns into a really fun binge a show, watch a movie, and just die cut. Especially the one that we don't need to stamp with. I am also going to put a little shading on my trees, and that will be tone on. Whoa, Gus! Wow. Hello. That was a little scary. I was scared. And I'm going to just do tone on tone. You could mix it up a little bit. Why am we using that small one? Because it was green. We could do like a whole shadow tree. That's fun. Maggie doesn't like the die cutting machine. She doesn't like the popping sound. One thing about this die set is it is mini machine friendly. Nothing is too big. But the large one is great for having all of the different colors. So you could do a lot of the cutting in one rotation. So this is going to assemble pretty much the same way. But with an added bonus. So we want our tires first. And then the little, and we could really bring that down if we want to. Oh, that's not the right thing. Putting a wheel on a wheel is not going to work. Isn't that cute? We get the little, you can see the shading a little bit there. Let's see, does this light help it out? No, not really. It looks better on the white, but again, we want to use this matte because it can be messy business. And if you want, come get that take your pick tool. If you struggle getting your pieces off the table, this is so handy. So I would love to challenge everybody who's watching to pull out a builder set, especially if you're feeling like you're in a funk, and just build lots of whatevers. And like I said, you don't have to have a finished project for them. Stick them in the stamp case. Now I'm going to finish mine off as Christmas cards. Did I not ink this one? I did 3. Maybe I did one twice. There's still ink left on there, so. So in this case, I'm putting a little glue on each tree, taking my cart to the tree. Oops! Goodness, I did that one twice. Ooh, black cat hair is free. No extra charge. And then we might end up with a card. What am I calling it? You're saying it's a cart. What am I calling it? The trailer? It's a trailer. It's hauling stuff. Trailer, cart. We could end up with a little card like this. And yes, I tied that itty bitty tiny bow. So let's talk about how I did. This tractor is in the thick of the snow. Again, using two-tone cardstock. So for this little background, I have the piece of the wood. Now this is the Country Woods, which I think is like one of everybody's favorite papers. And I have a 1/8 inch real red border to come back with to match that tractor. So I'm going to put this on like this. And then I have my snow. So I had this straight edge here. Man, the light looks just wild for some reason. Wilder than normal. I'm tearing it away. Because I want the edge to be straight. So what I did was I came through and I just put glue at the very bottom. And then I'm visually lining up to give me that small, that 1/8 inch teeny tiny border. You could do larger if you wanted. And this piece, I'm going to put the glue here, and then because it's only glued at the bottom, I'm going to be able to slip it in. That's my hair. It comes free as well. So again, I'm just going to put it at the very bottom. And then if I need a little help, which my piece that I started here is a little small, I can take my spatula. Oops, I put that in the wrong way. The spatula end. I did not give myself much to work with. You should tear thicker, whiter strips than I did. There we go. Now, I wanted the white core for this to show, but you could blend it out if you wanted as well. And you could even do, and I might have done, that might be the dark side, do like the color. So now, this is the front. And then there's a little space there that my tractor will tuck into the snow. And then we end up with this. So I did heat emboss in silver to match the little bow I put on the wagon cart. And I used the 3-in-1 punch, and I took, I don't even know how big that, like a 16th inch or 1/8 inch, and I glued that little strip of cardstock on there to make it look a little ribbony. So I was kind of bougie on the sentiment. So you can see I used a different barn. So it's like he's driving past the barn, and so this farmer got his trees in before it got really bad, and this guy was a little late to the show, so he ended up with all the snow. So I think you could, do the same technique if you're doing a scrapbook page to do that layer, and I found it's just easy. I thought it was easier to do it the way I showed you than trying to guesstimate on the layers, like starting up top. So just starting at the bottom so you get your border the way you want, and then just build it up that way. And you can see this one's a little thicker than I did here. And really I could do one even taller in the back. Maybe it's just, maybe we have a winter birthday card. So, if the snow was a little taller in the back. So I do have one other sample to show you using the set, because, we're Christmas in July here. So, And I think the Season's Greeting stamp set. Oh, I did do an inside on this one. I stamped my trees, and my ink needs pressed down, but then I just put that, like, I repeated the little stripe. This one inside's a little thicker. So I thought that was kind of cute. The base of the first card is crumb cake, so I wasn't as, like, anxious to do something inside, but maybe I'll put a little bit of the DSP in there. So I'd cut out a whole bunch of the trees because I was just like, oh, they're so adorable, I could do a card with them. And then I thought, ooh, I could probably just one-up that idea and make a card like this. So this DSP probably looks familiar, and this is the Seasons of Green. It is on the Last Chance. We had this last winter, and it's last chance for $11.55. This is a specialty paper, and so there's the little gold accents. So I used the die cut to do the little tree, layered them up. And then these gold sequins, I just finally picked these up. These are actually the loose gold sequins, because I thought that was going to be handy for the holiday season as well if I wanted to do a shaker card. And then I went into my little alphabet die, and I had black letters already die cut. If you've been watching, I've had letters die cut, and so I did joy on the card. And then I just repeated the little plaid on the inside. For this might actually be one that I should duplicate because I think it's super, super cute. So think about the impact. And I have the little trees are popped up. And think about this little tree die and how it can impact onto a card. Just this little die made this cute little card. Because I thought also I could take, I thought, oh, if there was 3 of them down, or two or three down in the little corner, maybe like on a circle punch with something Merry Christmas. So, tried to stretch out the holiday spirit with that one. So you do not need a large die to make cute cards. I'm trying to get all of these back on here because if you're new here, I like to lose things otherwise. Let's see. I want to see if everybody who answered the poll. And if you're watching this on the replay, you can just put your answer in the comments so I can see. So there we go. Let's just put these. All right, so let's see here. End poll. All right, so we had 2 people who love them. 1 says that they're okay and I like them, but I'm often confused. So the often confused, again, my tip is just grab whatever little scrap pieces of cardstock. Doesn't matter the color. It could be die cut everything and really look at it. If you're struggling, if it's from the catalog, look at the catalog, or go to the online store and see how things are assembled. If you're still confused, go to YouTube or contact me, and I will probably be doing the same things, especially if I don't own it. But that is your friend, especially when it's a brand new set and you end up with weird pieces and you're like, what is this? Because the little arch, the little roll cage, I had no idea what that was. I'm like, what? I mean, this is what it looks like. What? No, nobody knows what this is. Is this? This is, I'm like, what? Is it like this? You look at it and you're like, what in the world? So luckily I figured it out by looking at the picture. That was the only one I really couldn't figure out. I knew that this was going to overlay on the tractor. I could tell. But this, I had no idea what this was. But think about it. It does make it look kind of cute and safe, right? It's a safe tractor. Unlike this one's a little less safe. We could put the roll cage on here, but you know, whatever. I do think using the little banners, I thought maybe a little patriotic tractor, like, oops. Maybe I die cut this in red or white and color in red and blue on the little flags, or do like red, white, blue would be really cute. Or I even thought red and green. You could stamp or just do the banner on its own. And of course, I think the corn and the pumpkins are super cute, and those can be versatile for fall things, because there are other greetings. We have hey as a sentiment. We have it's your birthday, so you can say hey, it's your birthday, thinking of you. And then thanks for pulling me through. That would be a fun little thank you card. Maybe put the little chicken on, you put the hay bale in the little cart in the wagon, and then the chicken's on top, and you say hey, thanks for pulling me through. That just sounds hilarious to me with that little, like it's like the chicken telling you thanks. Telling the person thanks. That just sounds hilarious to me. I did, and so just like here's those little images there. So there is dies for everything, which is great, I think. Let's see. Let's look up the comments. Will the banner work in the trees? I don't think so. Maybe. If you did it, it would have to be like very diagonally. I don't know. It could work maybe in another tree. I feel like the tree is slightly too small. But if you die cut it and cut one off, and there was 3 because it's 4, then maybe. So, challenge accepted on that. So I hope that these little tractor cards inspire you. On the wagon, yes, wagon for sure. Banner on the wagon. I think it would be 2. Just looking. I hope this inspires you to hopefully work on Christmas cards if you're not already. Or maybe it inspires you to go and pull out one of your builder sets that you've put up on the shelf because you're just like, oh, I can't deal with it. Again, I think for me, it's a fun activity or thing to do to kind of, when I feel it, when I was in a slump. Because I don't think I would have come up with this without of playing with the tractor the way that I did. So just think about that, and things will come to you. And it's okay to make these and then just open up this and put them right in there. Future you is going to thank you for those tractors, those 30 tractors you make. I don't know, 10, 20, whatever. Or the flowers, or whatever builder you're doing. Future you will thank you. Because future you will be like, oh, the tractor. Oh, yeah, that would be just so great. Let's look at it. And like, oh, look at the tractors inside. I just can make a card now. So future you will thank you. Free shipping tomorrow, Thursday, Friday for orders $75 or more. Would be a great time to get that scrapbook workshop kit if you haven't. So, I mean, free ship on that is saving a lot. So, as always, if you have questions or something, please reach out to me. Follow me over on Facebook. It has been dead. I'm getting to the point of reviving that. Otherwise, we will see you next week because we have Stamp Club, and Stamp Club's doing Christmas in July to finish it all up, and I'll be sharing brand new product with you. You've seen it, but will be demonstrating with it. So one last time, make sure to like the video, follow me, leave me a comment. Thank you for being here. Make sure to mail a card out to somebody this week, or 5 or 10 or 20. You know, it will brighten somebody's day. We'll see ya.